Yeah, it was,
You know,
I mean,
like,
it was cool talking to Janelle. You know, she's telling me a little bit about what she's doing, her property and stuff.
This has always just wanted to be out in the land and in the dirt and doing stuff like that.
That's cool.
And I'm like, all right, you go plant that garden.
Yeah.
I'll eat the tomatoes from it, thanks. Like, it's just not my thing.
You would too.
Like, I think that I learned early on, for the sake of keeping peace, to just defer.
You had to be obedient.
Not him, not always him, but like anybody, like any of my sister wives, if they gave their opinion about something I was doing, I used to be like, oh.
Janelle Brown just revealed something that has Sister Wives fans absolutely furious. And honestly, this might be the most disgusting thing anyone in the Brown family has ever said to another wife. In a bonus scene that nobody saw coming, Janelle sat down with her closest friends and dropped a bomb that's been eating at her for years. Someone in that family, one of her own sister wives, looked her dead in the eye and told her something unbelievable. They told Janelle that her worry about money was creating bad energy. And because of that negative energy, the Brown family could never have enough money. Let that sink in for just a second. Janelle Brown, the woman who worked a regular job for decades, the woman who raised 6 children in a plural marriage, the woman who kept track of every single dollar the family spent, the woman who begged everyone to be responsible with money while watching cash disappear into nothing. She was told that her concern about paying bills was actually the problem, not the crazy spending, not the stupid real estate decisions, not the million-dollar mansions that some wives got while others lived in trailers. No, apparently Janelle's worry was manifesting poverty into their lives. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was cool talking to Janelle. You know, she's telling me a little bit about what she's doing, her property and stuff. The absolute nerve of this accusation has Sister Wives fans demanding answers right now. Who would say something this ridiculous? Who would look at a woman desperately trying to keep her family afloat and tell her that her anxiety about money was drowning them? Sources close to the family have been whispering theories, and the speculation is getting wild. Because this accusation didn't come from some random person outside the family. This came from inside the house. This came from someone who benefited big time from Janelle keeping her mouth shut about where the money was going. But here's what makes this revelation even more explosive. The timing of when Janelle finally spoke up. She dropped this bombshell right when the Brown family's financial secrets were being exposed for everyone to see. We're talking about a family with multiple bankruptcies going back almost 30 years. A family that bought 14 acres in Flagstaff for over $800,000 and never built a single house on it. A family where one wife lives in a $2 million mansion, while another wife tearfully admits she has absolutely nothing. And somehow, some way, Janelle was manipulated into believing that her practical concerns about paying bills were the real reason they had money problems. This wasn't just lying to her face. This was financial manipulation wrapped up in fake spiritual nonsense and served with a giant side of guilt. Whoever said this to Janelle wanted her to stop asking questions. They wanted her to stop watching where the money went. They wanted her to feel responsible for problems she never created, so they could keep spending without anyone checking them. But here's the thing about secrets in the Brown family. They always come out eventually. And now that Janelle has finally broken her silence, the whole twisted story is about to blow wide open. Because what she revealed next made this accusation look like just the tip of a very expensive iceberg. For years and years, Janelle Brown carried a burden that was never hers to carry. While Kody and certain sister wives painted her as some kind of money-controlling villain pulling all the strings, the truth was heartbreakingly simple. Janelle was the bookkeeper. Nothing more, nothing less. She wrote down the transactions and sent them to the accountant. That was her entire job. She wasn't making huge decisions about where hundreds of thousands of dollars should go. She wasn't approving massive house purchases or signing off on luxury shopping sprees. She was simply the woman who recorded everything that happened. So imagine how angry she must have been when she discovered what Kody had been saying behind her back. In a moment that had fans literally cheering out loud, Janelle finally snapped and exposed the story that had been building against her for years. She revealed that Kody had been telling everybody that she was somehow controlling all the family's money. And her response was absolutely perfect. She said, "Trust me. If she really was controlling it, they would be in a completely different position right now. They would have paid off their debts. They would have built houses. They wouldn't be scrambling and fighting over pieces of empty land that sat there for years doing nothing." The betrayal cut deep because Janelle never saw it coming. Kody wasn't confronting her face to face about these supposed money sins. He was whispering to everyone else, poisoning the well while she continued faithfully recording every single dollar that came in and went out. She admitted it made her so mad because she didn't know he was doing it. He kept telling everybody these stories behind her back, and she had absolutely no idea she was being set up as the person to blame for the family falling apart. But it gets worse. What really exposes the lie is Kody's own confession about how money actually worked in the Brown household. He admitted that he sort of guided where the money went. He acknowledged that everyone had access to the account, but let's be real about what guiding the money actually means. It means Kody decided everything. It means Kody controlled everything. It means Kody pointed at something he wanted and expected the family fund to cover it, whether it made any financial sense or not. Christine confirmed exactly how this system really worked. She revealed that all their money got put into one big huge fund, and whenever she needed anything at all, she talked to Kody. He was the one who always wrote the checks. Not Janelle, Kody. The same man who told everyone that Janelle was the problem was literally the one signing checks and deciding who got what and when they got it. This is the textbook definition of scapegoating. Find someone responsible enough to track the mess, then blame them when the mess becomes impossible to hide. Like I think that I learned early on for the sake of keeping peace to just defer. You had to be obedient. Not him. Not always him. But like anybody. Like any of my sister wives, if they gave their opinion about something I was doing, I used to be like, oh, okay. Janelle spent years being painted as the villain in a story she wasn't even writing. She was documenting the disaster, not creating it. And the person who actually guided the money straight into disaster, he was too busy pointing fingers to ever look in the mirror. The moment Janelle revealed that someone told her that her worry was ruining the financial vibe, fans immediately started playing detective. Because that phrase, that specific combination of spiritual garbage and blame shifting, has a very particular flavor to it. And the Sister Wives audience knows exactly who talks like that. The number one suspect in the court of public opinion, Robyn Brown. And honestly, the evidence is completely overwhelming. Fans have watched Robyn deflect blame for over a decade now. They've seen her use tears as weapons and twist stories until somehow she's always the victim, never the problem. The idea of telling someone that their practical concerns about money were creating bad energy is exactly the kind of thing viewers expect from the fourth wife. It sounds pretty and spiritual on the surface, but underneath it's pure deflection, designed to silence the one person actually paying attention to the bank account. Fan commentary broke it down perfectly. They pointed out that Robyn says things that are just stupid and don't make sense, but they sound flowery on paper. Telling Janelle her worry was ruining the financial vibe fits that pattern like a glove. It takes a real concern and flips it into a character flaw. Suddenly, Janelle isn't the responsible one trying to keep the family from drowning. She's the negative force manifesting their poverty through bad vibes. But Robyn isn't the only suspect on the list. Meri Brown has also earned serious suspicion from the fan community, especially after recent events exposed her willingness to run straight to Kody and Robyn with private information. When Janelle tried to warn Meri about potential Coyote Pass problems, Meri turned around and reported every single word back to the very people Janelle was concerned about. That kind of loyalty to Kody's inner circle suggests Meri might have participated in the Blame Janelle campaign more than anyone realized. What makes this accusation so evil is how perfectly it served certain interests. If Janelle was the problem, then nobody had to examine where the money was actually going. Nobody had to question the massive house purchases, or the luxury spending, or the endless stream of cash flowing in one particular direction. Blaming Janelle's energy was a convenient way to shut down money conversations before they could get uncomfortable. The bonus scene commentary noted something crucial. Whoever said this wanted Janelle to stop worrying, which really meant they wanted her to stop watching. They wanted her to stop tracking. They wanted her to feel guilty for caring about whether the bills got paid so they could continue spending without anyone checking them. Insiders suggest the accusation likely came during a time when family spending was at its most questionable, when certain wives were upgrading their living situations while others were struggling, when the gap between the haves and have-nots in the Brown family was becoming impossible to ignore. Someone needed Janelle to believe she was the problem, and for a while, it actually worked. If Janelle's worry was really the reason the Brown family struggled with money, then someone needs to explain where all the money actually went. Because the receipts tell a very different story than the one Janelle was fed. And when you follow the money trail, it leads straight to one doorstep in particular. I was told once that my energy and my worry were so negative that I was ruining the financial vibe, and that's why we didn't have enough money. Let's talk about Robyn Brown's housing situation, because this is where things get really ugly. In August of 2019, while other wives were scrambling to sell their Las Vegas homes at a loss, Robyn and Kody purchased a Flagstaff property for $890,000. The down payment alone was reportedly $222,500. And according to multiple sources, that down payment came partially from the money Meri and Janelle got from selling their Vegas homes. So Janelle's money helped buy a house that only Robyn's name would be on. Let that sink in for a minute. But it gets so much worse. In April of 2020, Kody and Robyn took out a $150,000 home equity line of credit on that property. Then, in November of 2021, they refinanced again and added another $130,000 line of credit. The house became an ATM machine, and the family fund was apparently covering the withdrawals, while Janelle was being told her negative energy was the real problem. Fans have put together a devastating list of alleged purchases that showed up in that Flagstaff home. Reports came out about an $8,200 bear statue, a $13,000 Phoenix glass sculpture, a $4,000 amethyst geode for the kitchen floor. Whether every single item on that list is accurate or not, the pattern is undeniable. Money was flowing freely into one household, while another wife lived in a trailer and tearfully admitted she had nothing. The contrast is absolutely staggering. While Janelle was being manipulated about her financial anxiety, creating bad vibes, Robyn and Kody were spending without any limits. And in October of 2024, after selling the Flagstaff home for $1.775 million, they purchased a brand new mansion for $2.1 million, 6 bedrooms, 6.5 bathrooms, purchased through something called the Whitstone Trust. Meanwhile, Janelle had been living in a camper on the Coyote Pass property that sat empty for years. She didn't have a mansion. She didn't have luxury sculptures. She had a trailer and a lot of questions about where her decades of hard work had actually gone. This is the real financial story of the Brown family. It's not about negative energy or bad vibes or one wife worrying too much about bills. It's about money being funneled in one direction, while others were left behind and then blamed for noticing. Janelle wasn't ruining anything with her concern about money. She was watching the evidence pile up and being punished for paying attention. And the spending didn't stop there. The deeper you dig into the Brown family finances, the uglier the picture becomes. For years, Kody Brown let the story simmer that Janelle was somehow responsible for the family's financial chaos. He whispered behind her back. He let others believe she controlled the money. He watched as she took the blame for decisions she never made. But in January of 2025, Kody finally let the truth slip out, and his confession changed absolutely everything. During a revealing episode, Kody admitted what fans had suspected all along. He confessed that towards the end of the family's time together, he would just take out funds from the family account. He didn't explain what the money was for. He didn't talk to the other wives. He just took it. And according to Janelle, we're not talking about small amounts. She said the money was just being spent, and lots of it. Towards the end, it was really hard to even keep track of where everything was going. But here's where Kody's arrogance truly shined through. When confronted about this spending, he didn't apologize. He didn't take any responsibility. Instead, he defended himself by saying he was a father to 18 kids and a husband to more than just Janelle. He claimed there were lots of places money needed to go that weren't always Janelle's business. Read that again carefully. The family fund, which everyone contributed to, was being drained for purposes that the primary bookkeeper wasn't even allowed to know about. Christine's confirmation added another devastating layer to this revelation. She explained exactly how the financial system worked in practice. All their money went into one big, huge fund, and they got paid out of that fund. But whenever Christine needed anything, she didn't go to Janelle. She went straight to Kody. He was the one who always wrote the checks. He was the gatekeeper. He decided who got what and when they got it. So let's connect the dots here. Janelle recorded the transactions. Kody guided where the money went and wrote the checks. Someone told Janelle her worry was creating bad financial energy. And all along, Kody was secretly pulling money from the account for things that weren't her business. This wasn't just bad money management. This was a coordinated effort to keep Janelle in the dark while simultaneously blaming her for the darkness. The audacity of telling a woman that her concern about money was the problem while secretly draining the accounts behind her back is almost too much to understand. Janelle wasn't creating financial problems with her energy. She was sensing the problems that were being deliberately hidden from her. Her worry wasn't the disease. It was the symptom of something deeply wrong that she could feel but wasn't allowed to fully see. I don't know. I finally had the bandwidth to realize it wasn't true, and I didn't have to accept what they said or what people's opinion was of me if I knew what the truth was. Kody's confession didn't just prove what Janelle had been saying, it exposed the entire con. The man who pointed fingers and whispered blame was the same man quietly emptying the family fund for purposes he still won't fully explain. And the walls of his carefully built story were about to come crashing down. If Janelle's negative energy and excessive worry were truly responsible for the Brown family's money problems, then someone has a lot of explaining to do, because the documented history of this family's financial troubles stretches back nearly 3 decades. Long before Robyn ever entered the picture, long before the TLC cameras started rolling, the Browns were struggling with money when Janelle's worry was supposedly just getting started. Let's start with Janelle herself. In 1997, she filed for bankruptcy with $20,387 in debt while earning just $388 per month. About $12,000 of that debt was credit card balances. This was a young mother in a plural family trying to survive on almost nothing. Her worry about money wasn't irrational negativity. It was a survival instinct born from real, documented hardship. But Janelle wasn't alone in the bankruptcy records. In 2005, Kody and Meri filed jointly, and the numbers were absolutely staggering. They reported $229,873 in liabilities. Their monthly expenses exceeded their income by over $1,000. The case wasn't settled until 2007, when they still owed $187,885. This was Kody and his first wife drowning in debt years before anyone could blame Janelle's energy for anything. Then came Christine's turn. In 2010, just 6 months before Sister Wives premiered on TLC, Christine filed bankruptcy with $25,712 in debt. Here's the part that really hurts. At the time of her filing, Christine was receiving $614 per month in food stamps. Even after the show started filming, she was still relying on government help to feed her children. The family was already in crisis before the first episode ever aired. And what about Robyn? The fourth wife never filed for bankruptcy, but she didn't exactly enter the family with clean finances either. Reports indicate she brought approximately $32,000 in debt from her first marriage, debt that the family fund eventually helped pay off. So the woman who allegedly told Janelle that worry was ruining their financial vibe came into the family already underwater financially. The pattern here is undeniable. Every single original wife plus Kody himself faced serious financial hardship. Bankruptcies, food stamps, crushing debt. These problems existed long before anyone could pin them on Janelle's attitude about money. If anything, Janelle's worry was the appropriate response to a family that had been financially unstable from the very beginning. Blaming her energy for the money collapse isn't just insulting, it's completely ignoring history. The receipts are public record. The bankruptcy filings don't lie. This family was struggling long before Janelle's practical concerns could have manifested anything into existence. Someone wanted her to feel responsible for generational financial dysfunction. And that manipulation is almost as unforgivable as the spending itself. Just when it seemed like the Brown family drama couldn't get any messier, Meri Brown threw gasoline on an already raging fire. And her betrayal of Janelle revealed exactly how deep the dysfunction runs in this family. Because when Janelle tried to do the right thing and warn a sister wife about potential trouble ahead, Meri turned around and reported every single word straight back to Kody and Robyn. The situation happened during discussions about Coyote Pass. Janelle, ever the practical one, tried to give Meri a heads up about potential problems with the property division. She wasn't trying to start drama. She wasn't trying to create sides. She was simply looking out for someone she had spent decades calling family. But instead of appreciating the warning, Meri ran straight to the two people Janelle was most concerned about and told them everything. Fan reaction was immediate and brutal. Social media exploded with disbelief. People couldn't understand why Meri would snitch on Janelle to Robyn and Kody just when viewers had started rooting for her. Others pointed out that Janelle doesn't even care for Meri that much, but still told her to watch out for herself out of the kindness of her heart, and Meri spit in her face for it. The betrayal stung because it confirmed something Janelle had probably suspected for years. When push comes to shove, Meri's loyalty lies with Kody's inner circle. despite everything Kody put her through, despite the years of emotional neglect, despite publicly saying their relationship was over, Meri still chose to protect Kody and Robyn over a sister wife who was genuinely trying to help her. Meri attempted damage control on social media, claiming she and Janelle talked it out and everything was cool now. But Janelle's confessional told a different story. She admitted she still doesn't know if she can trust Meri not to go right back and report to Kody about their conversations. That's not the language of reconciliation. That's the language of someone who learned a painful lesson about who she can actually count on. This betrayal connects directly to the larger pattern of Janelle being isolated and blamed. When you're the one asking hard questions about money, the last thing you need is someone in your corner feeding information to the other side. Meri's actions ensured that anything Janelle said in confidence could and would be used against her. It created an environment where speaking up about financial concerns meant risking further separation from the family. Insiders suggest this wasn't the first time information flowed from Janelle through Meri to Kody and Robyn. The betrayal at Coyote Pass may have just been the moment it finally became undeniable. For years, Janelle thought she was confiding in a sister wife. She may have actually been handing ammunition to the very people who wanted her to stop asking questions about the money. And speaking of Coyote Pass, that property became ground zero for everything wrong with the Brown family finances. Coyote Pass was supposed to be the Brown family's dream, a sprawling 14-acre property in Flagstaff where all 4 wives would build homes and live together in plural family harmony. Instead, it became a monument to broken promises, financial recklessness, and the ultimate symbol of everything that went wrong. And Janelle's concerns about this property were dismissed as negative energy, while the investment bled money for years. The family purchased the land in 2018 for $820,000. The plan was simple on paper: divide the property into sections, build 4 homes, finally create the compound they had talked about for decades. But year after year, nothing happened. The land sat empty, the mortgages kept coming due, and the dream quietly died while Kody focused his attention and money elsewhere. Janelle actually lived on that property in a trailer, trying to make the best of a situation that was falling apart around her. She was physically living on land the family owned, while watching the building plans disappear into nothing. Meanwhile, Robyn was living in a mansion that kept getting refinanced for more and more cash. The contrast was impossible to ignore. Yet somehow, Janelle was still the one being blamed for having a bad attitude about finances. The property even fell into tax trouble. In November of 2023, records showed Kody owed $4,858 in late property taxes on Coyote Pass. This is the same family that told Janelle her worry was ruining their financial vibe. They couldn't even keep up with the tax payments on their supposed dream property. Perhaps the most heartbreaking detail involves Christine's exit from Coyote Pass. When she left Kody, she sold her share of the property to Kody and Robyn for just $10. $10 for land that was actually worth over $213,000 based on later valuations. Christine essentially gave away her stake just to be free of the situation. That's how toxic the Coyote Pass dream had become. The property finally sold in April of 2025 for $1.5 million. After years of sitting empty, after countless arguments, after Janelle was blamed for worrying too much about the financial wisdom of the whole thing, the sale brought in approximately $680,000 in profit, which was divided among the remaining stakeholders. Kody, Robyn, Janelle, and Meri each received roughly $375,000. Janelle got her money in the end, but she also got years of being told her practical concerns about this property were the problem. Every time she questioned whether Coyote Pass made sense, she was painted as negative. Every time she worried about the costs, she was ruining the vibe. And every single concern she raised turned out to be completely valid. The land that was supposed to unite the family ended up being the final proof that Janelle was right all along. Behind the practical exterior and the steady bookkeeping, Janelle Brown was slowly breaking. Years of being blamed for problems she didn't create had taken a devastating toll. And when she finally let her guard down on camera, the raw emotion that poured out shocked everyone who thought she was unshakable. In one of the most heartbreaking moments in Sister Wives history, Janelle broke down in tears and admitted the truth about her situation. She said she was stuck. Financially, she had nothing. Christine had a house, Janelle had nothing. After 30 years of marriage, after raising 6 children, after contributing to the family fund her entire adult life, She was left with absolutely nothing to show for it. The pain in her voice was unmistakable as she explained how this happened. She confessed that she never felt like she had much control over her own money because everybody was pulling from the same account. She trusted it would all work out in the end. Looking back, she realized how dumb that was. She questioned why she didn't insist that all their names were on all the pieces of property. She was just too trusting. That trust was weaponized against her. While Janelle faithfully recorded every transaction and believed the family was working toward shared goals, others were making moves that protected their own interests. When she asked for her name to be put on the mortgage for Robyn's house, since her money helped fund the down payment, Kody shut her down. He told her no. They needed to protect Robyn's estate. Janelle's financial contribution was welcome. Her legal protection was not. The emotional weight of being blamed while being used is almost impossible to calculate. Janelle gave everything to this family: her income, her time, her practical skills, her willingness to track the money that everyone else wanted to spend without accountability, and in return, she was told her worry was the reason they were struggling. She was blamed for the very instability she was desperately trying to prevent. What makes this even more painful is how long Janelle carried this burden in silence. She didn't know Kody was telling everyone she controlled the money. She didn't realize she was being set up as the fall guy until the accusations became impossible to ignore. For years, she absorbed the blame and internalized the guilt, while the real source of the financial problems continued unchecked. The tears Janelle shed weren't just about money. They were about betrayal. They were about decades of partnership being reduced to nothing. They were about realizing that the person she trusted most had been destroying her reputation while draining the accounts she faithfully managed. She worried about the family's finances because she loved her family, and that love was twisted into a weapon used against her. But Janelle Brown is not a woman who stays broken for long. The same practical nature that made her worry about money also gave her the strength to rebuild from nothing. After years of being blamed, manipulated, and financially marginalized, Janelle Brown is finally getting the last laugh. And her comeback story is the ultimate victory for everyone who watched her be blamed for problems she never created. The Coyote Pass settlement brought Janelle approximately $375,000 from the $1.5 million sale. That money didn't just provide financial relief. It provided proof that her concerns about the property were valid all along. The land she worried about, the investment she questioned, the dream she was told she was ruining with her negative energy, it finally paid out, and she got her fair share despite everything. But Janelle didn't stop there. She took that fresh start and built something entirely her own. In April of 2024, she purchased 156 acres in Chocoin, North Carolina, for $289,000. This isn't just a piece of property. This is Janelle's forever home. A place where nobody can tell her that her practical concerns are ruining the vibe. A place where her name is the only one that matters on the deed. She's also building a new legacy with her daughter Madison through their flower farm business called Tayo Farms. After decades of her contributions being absorbed into a family fund she couldn't control, Janelle is finally creating something that belongs to her. Something that reflects her love of the land and her desire to build rather than just maintain someone else's chaos. Her personal transformation has been remarkable to witness. When asked about dating in February of 2025, Janelle made it clear she's not interested in getting married again or even really dating. She said she loves her single life. After 30 years of plural marriage and all the drama that came with it, Janelle has discovered that independence suits her just fine. And when it comes to Kody and Robyn, Janelle isn't holding back anymore. She called them equally yoked, describing their dynamic as Robyn being the helpless one who needed rescuing and Kody being the hero who needed to save her. When asked if she could ever be friends with them, Janelle delivered the most satisfying response possible. She said plainly that she just doesn't like them. In December of 2025, Kody traveled to North Carolina to apologize for being angry and bitter during the family breakup. Janelle listened. She acknowledged it was healing to hear some of what he said, but she also made clear that this man who showed up wasn't the person she was married to for all those years. The damage runs too deep for a simple apology to fix. The woman who was told her worry was ruining the family's financial vibe is now thriving on her own terms. She's got land, she's got a business, she's got peace. And she's got the truth finally on her side. Drop your thoughts below, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The next video is waiting, and you won't want to miss what's coming next.